happens.
Alrighty.
Surprisingly interesting things going on.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens here. Check on YouTube, make sure we're broadcasting live. Happens.
Alrighty. So when I have somebody in the chat answering questions, but is it okay for me to like pause and just ask like, hey, are there any questions I should address or?
No, absolutely.
Okay. If you see something, just
Yeah, I have the
stop
chat
whatever.
open on my other screen where we have all the encoding software and that going on. So we'll go ahead and kick it off. I'll do a quick intro here, and you know how we do this. I'm
All
Jim
right.
Unger with JCPS Digital Innovation. We have Summer Barons with us to talk about Edmentum today, and a little bit of technical difficulties going on, but we're going to get started and let you listen and watch. If you have questions, we have people covering the chat to hopefully answer it, and if not, we will get your question to Summer. All right, and I'm going to hand it off.
All right, thanks so much. Like you said, I'm Summer Barons. I work with Jefferson County High School, and myself and Amy Dickinson, we pretty much service grades 6 through 12 when it comes to Edmentum's courseware and flex assignments. So if you are in this training, it's definitely geared towards grades 6 through 12. I'm so sorry for the elementary folks. Courseware and flex assignments don't apply to elementary school at this time. So if you are and you're looking for things, Edmentum also has Exact Path and Study Island, which are two great resources. And Donna Lawson is the contact for those two programs. So this little training here is going to be about courseware and flex assignments within the Edmentum platform. Amy Dickinson should be in the chat and she will answer your questions, or if you want to drop any comments in there, she'll get back to us. And I'm going to get started here with sharing my screen. Alrighty. Okay, so I already logged into the Edmentum platform because I log in differently and I didn't want to confuse anybody. So if you are somebody who has never looked at Edmentum, that's perfectly okay. When you go to log in, you go through Clever, just like you do for anything else with your JCPS. You can go to JCPS staff and then links, and Clever is in there to log on. Then there's a small E for the what you would click on to get to Edmentum. Once you're there, you will land on the Sensei, which is their landing page. And right now I don't have any alerts because I don't have any active students because this is just a training account. But the great thing about this page is all alerts will come right here. So you can get a really quick view of what your students are working on. You can tell if somebody's struggling. I will be honest, I didn't really think this was a super important page until I started working with students. Danielle and I are working with a lot of our adult students. And once I had myself as like an instructor to live students, it just exploded for me. And I realized how much of a great resource this was if I needed to unlock something super quick. It was just really right here at my fingertips. So I definitely value this page a lot more now that I have students live in the program. And this morning I had 70 alerts. Sounds like a lot, but it was really quick and easy to run through. That's the one great thing about Edmentum is their visuals are really good. So it's nice for you to see, that blue lockbox, you automatically know what that is. So if you're a visual person like me, you will appreciate this platform. Other things that you can do on this page, you can look at the new messages, new announcements, things that are locked. You can also send messages, look at students. And then I want to point out here on the right-hand side of any Edmentum screen that you're on, typically should have this help button. Their help changes based on the page that you're on. So it kind of filters through what you would be looking for. So if you're looking for something or you're a little confused, go to the help button. Anytime you see these how-to tours, they're great. They pop up little bubbles and guide you through it and how to, what you're looking for. So you can look at how to do alerts, messages. This is something new here, learn and support with Courseware. And then these are resources that will be like documents. And Amy and I have tried to make sure that all of the really good, important documents that you would need are in one place that we have. And it should be linked in the digital learning calendar. If not, we'll make sure it gets there. But those, we try to keep those up to date too. So just keep in mind, this help button over here is pretty good. Once you get your alerts, if you do have tons of them, like I had 70 today, I ended up dismissing them all because the next time I logged on, I knew I already looked at them. So I just wanted them gone so that anything new was something I would pay attention to. So that's about it for here. There's other options, you know, like communication, and your students are here. Again, this is training, so these are all fake students, but if you wanted to just hone in on one student, you know, you have that parent on the phone or the student on the phone, staying on this page and going directly to your students is a good option. The ready to score, this would be assignments that are teacher graded, like discussion questions or activities, and they all fall in here too, which is kind of cool. This is not the only place that you can get to this, these things. This is just kind of like that main dashboard. So that's that. Up here, this black toolbar doesn't ever change, which is nice. So you can always go back and forth between what you're looking at. You all should have Flex Exact Path up here too, because this is just a fake training account. I only have the 3. But when you click on Courseware, your school, or if you share or go to multiple schools, should be in that drop down. And then if you're an instructor, you will have these 4 boxes at the top, and you'll know you're an instructor because it'll say it above your name. If you're a program admin, your screen looks a little bit different, and you'll have 3 choices up there because you're seeing your whole building's progress, you know, where they're at, and it's kind of like a dashboard for program admin. If you're a program admin and you want to look at the instructor view, you come over here to the menu, and you will have these 4 options too. And you just can click on it and it'll take you right to this page. So you'll know what you are based on when you log in. It'll tell you if you're an instructor or a program admin. Are there any questions yet, or?
No, Summer, all we have right now are a lot of people saying hello. Amy is in the chat if there are questions. And so is Jack Bosley, one of my partners from Digital Innovation.
Awesome, great. Okay, I'm gonna keep on rolling. Alrighty, so what we can do with Courseware. We want to really try to dispel the myth that Edmentum's courseware and flex assignments are for credit recovery only. Yes, they are a great resource. It is what our district is using for credit recovery. And, you know, we've had a lot of success with our students. When I did the training in the morning, I was on my program admin, and we were over 4 million hours or minutes in here, logins. Like, it's crazy in the past year since NTI started, how many people are utilizing the program, teachers and students. We really want you to understand that you can use this as a supplemental tool for your classroom, whether we're virtual, in the classrooms, or both. You know, you may go out sick or have to quarantine. You can totally utilize this platform for your class. It's not just credit recovery. So this has kind of forced us into realizing that, which is a good thing. Always looking for that silver lining. So on here, we have this all linked for you all. This is all of the courses that are offered within Edmentum. Amy did this fantastic spreadsheet for all of us, and it is just wonderful how many they've added. We have so many CTE courses that we did not have at the beginning of the school year. They've added many electives. So definitely check this out. It's an easier way, you know, to just get a quick view of what you're looking for rather than going through the course catalog, which I am going to show you how to do. But I just felt like this was a great visual to check out all the courses. This here is another document. This will all be linked together, where we have just different ways that you can utilize Edmentum. So we're not talking credit recovery here. We're talking NTI 2.0, NTI remediation, and then classroom supports. So acceleration, remediation, or even as supplemental materials within your classroom. And then we have a link on here for a support request. and you can fill that out at any time, and it'll come to Amy and I, and we will get back to you and reach out and help. And then this is what we created last year, and we're updating it as we go. But there is a Google Classroom. Like I said, when I was showing you the help topics, we try to upload and update things within the Google Classroom. We have quite a few teachers in there. We would love to see more because it is such a great space to connect with people and just even bounce ideas off of each other. So that's a good forum to have. So that is, Amy will probably throw the code in the chat. And again, we'll make sure this is linked. But we have videos on here and then additional links throughout this page. So there's also links through here that you can add to your Google Classroom for your students. So, you know, if you want your students to start using this, but you're like, how do I let them know? We have a great video created by one of our teachers in JCPS that shows the students how to log on. So you can use anything in here and manipulate it or add it to your Google Classroom, whatever you need to do. Or if you want something specific for your students or your school, we're happy to create that too. So just let us know. Alrighty, and then like I said, flex assignment or Edmentum is used for more than just NTI and credit recovery. You can use Courseware, which is aligned to state and national standards. Flex assignments also gives you the option to really hone in on one standard or, you know, just a small group of kids or even whole group. And then a lot of schools have been using this for ESS too. So in addition to all the virtual things that we're doing. The flex assignments are cool because of the way you can utilize them with intervention, acceleration, blended learning, and then, like I was saying, student absences. Don't think of Edmentum as just full, robust courses. Those are there, and you're welcome to use them, but you have the autonomy to break those down and customize sections to meet your needs and your students' needs. And then on here, this Nti Resources page within this slide deck has those other pages that I was showing you linked right here. So we will make sure that you all get this. Maybe Amy can even throw it in the chat, but this is just a slide deck that has additional resources. Alrighty, so you're new to Edmentum and you may not know where to begin. So the best thing for you to do is go to this menu button on the left-hand side and just check out the course catalog. If you are specifically, I always do English. I don't know why, but if you're an English teacher, type in your English. Maybe it's my favorite subject in high school, but so you just type in your subject area and then it's going to populate a bunch of courses that you have to choose from. But I wanted to show you this too. Back in the spring when NTI started, Amy and several other teachers, content specialist teachers, created modules for our middle schools. So 6th through 8th grade, you'll see here how it says custom course. If it says custom course, that means somebody within JCPS created that. All of the ones for 6th through 8th grade, math, science, social studies, and language arts are aligned to the modules and to fit your pacing guide with the, you know, however you do the 6 weeks and whatnot, because all of the Edmentum courses are based on semester. So these teachers really put a lot of time and energy into this to create these courses to support you and your students and align better with how our school year goes. We also have additional syllabus that go with them. We can send and forward out to you at any time. So that was just a quick comment. I don't know why those come up first. I guess because it's, you know, they start with a number, but so if it says custom course, it's something we created for you, and you're welcome to use anything within the Edmentum platform, any courses. So when I type in English, you see Accelerate to English came up first. So the Accelerate courses, I know for sure that they're in English and math. They might have a couple other ones. Edmentum created these because of NTI. So the Accelerate courses are really a great tool to use prior to a student coming in. So let's say this summer you have a group of 8th graders and you want to just give them that acceleration piece, like prepare them for 9th grade English. This is a great course for that. So they could go into this course and prepare for the upcoming course. There's other resources and ways that you can utilize this, but the ones that say Accelerate are new and they're not like the full course, but you can use whatever you want within there. So they just created those and I think they're pretty good. Some people have used them. But we're just going to look at a regular English course here. So all of the courses have a student orientation, just kind of shows the students around. But what I think is important to look at is the syllabus. So if I'm an English teacher, I want to see what's in this course. Like, is this going to help my students? Is this going to support my curriculum and where I'm going? So their syllabus is a great resource for that. You will see the course overview and goals, the scope and sequence, and then it will give you the unit and what the objective and standards are. I always tell people where it says days 1 to 23, take that with a grain of salt. That's just a guidance that when they give you these days like this in Edmentum, they're thinking that you're using the course from start to finish. This is a virtual program that can be customized and manipulated in so many ways that those days really can, for some reason, kind of get people upset. Like, you know, I don't have that many days, or I need more days. This is customizable for you and how you choose to do it. So just don't worry about the days that they put there. But all of the syllabus that are attached within Edmentum are pretty detailed. So I think that they're a great resource to check out if you're not sure what you want to do yet. So you can always get there from the course catalog. So let's see here. I'll go back into English 10. When you're in the course catalog, so before you assign this as a course, you can look at the full course just as your students would see it, which is great for you to kind of decide, you know, if you want to use something or not. So that's, there's a pre-test, there's discussion questions, the tutorial. I'll just click on one of them. But this is great because you can see it before you give it to your students and see if it matches with what you're looking for. I also want to really point out something. I can't stress enough how great the resources are within Edmentum. This is my 20th year in teaching, and this is probably my 5th or 6th virtual platform that I've worked with, and it far it's just outdoes every other program. I've just had so much stress over the years, like working with kids in credit recovery and things like that, and would have done anything for a great program like this. So it's not perfect, and it should never replace teaching, but it's a great tool, a great supplemental tool. But over here you have the table of contents. So it's just like, you know, if you're going to open up a book and see how many pages there are, or where, you know, how many chapters, right here, it'll take you to any of them. And then the resources. This is what is so important to me, especially because my background is special education. Not every course is going to have all of the same types of resources. The resources are going to be customized to that tutorial. The guided notes are phenomenal. I had a teacher on this morning who was manning the chat, and she said they make all the difference in the world. She's using Edmentum a lot, and she's also a special ed teacher, and she makes all of her students use the guided notes because they're so important. They're so valuable. So what this does, you can download this and add it to your Google Classroom. The kids can type right within here. You could print them for them if that's, you know, works better for them. But it's really a great resource, and this follows along with the tutorial. So we encourage all of our students, like even my adults, like if they're failing a mastery test, the very first question I ask them is, did you do your guided notes? And typically if they're not passing, that's why, because, you know, they're not really paying enough attention within the tutorial. They will also add, you know, an excerpt, like, so Rogue Heart was within that tutorial, so they give more information for that one. They have a worksheet in this one. Again, keep in mind, not every tutorial is going to have as many, and some might have more, but these are all up to you if you choose to use them or not use them, or you can throw them onto your Google Drive for your kids, or you can print them. And then there's a glossary. So this is great for our kids too. And with acceleration, if you can get this to them ahead of time so that they can, you know, start to learn these words and just be familiar with them, that's a great resource. The next resource is they can look up any word they want. They can copy and paste from the tutorial. They can type in a word and it'll give them the dictionary definitions. And then the reading tools. This is one of the most important to me. The slide narration, if that is on, it will read word for word everything on the slide. So even if that's, you know, for our ECE students who that's an accommodation for and that's something they need, you're meeting that accommodation. So they're having it read to them. And then let's keep in mind our students. I think it's really important that all students know about these resources, because they're tired of looking at the screens, and we all have Zoom fatigue and just feel like one more thing on a computer or a phone, it's tough. So utilize these resources. They're very beneficial. The click to speak is a little bit more of a robotic sound, and that's where if they don't want everything read to them, they can go back and click on just a sentence or two. So maybe they read the whole page on that tutorial and then got a little bit confused. They could click on just the one part and it'll read it to them. So that's pretty cool. They can have both of them on too. So the whole slide can be read to them, and then they can go back and click and it'll reread the part that they want. And then there's the translation. So they can copy and paste anything from the tutorial, throw it over here to be translated into any one of these languages, which is fantastic. It does not read to them in their native language. It's only, the visual, which is unfortunate. I wish that it did both, but, I have to realize that, all programs have their limitations and they can only add so much to these platforms. So it's a really good feature, and I have not heard of anybody, really struggling with that. If anything, I've only heard good things about it. And then our kids are so savvy, they know to go to Google Translate if they do want it spoken to them. So that's a cool feature. And I've actually this is the only platform that I've ever worked with that even had a translation piece to it. So I thought that was like really cool. And the number of languages they had is pretty large. And then finally is the highlighting tool. So students can highlight anything within their tutorial. And then when they save and exit, say they come back to review the tutorial before a test, whatever they highlighted before will stay highlighted. So that just kind of outlines some of the resources that are within the Edmentum platform for your students. And you can always check out what the tests look like. We do get this question a lot where people will ask, can they write their own test questions, or can they reorder test questions or take them out? Unfortunately, you cannot. If they fail a mastery test, they will get new questions. The order will change. So if they fail a test, they won't get the same questions over and over, which is good. So, but unfortunately, we cannot change it. Now, when we go to talk about how to customize a section, you can omit certain topics, and those questions will then be eliminated from like an end of semester test. So that's a nice resource, but unfortunately you cannot create your own questions or change the order. However, when we are creating a custom course, if that's something that you would need or you would like, Amy and I can support you with that, and you can kind of let us know what you want, and then you could add different test questions and things like that. Alrighty, so that was just looking at one course quickly. Just to recap, I went to the menu button and I went to course catalog. Okay, I'll stick over here for a minute. The other fantastic feature within Edmentum, like I've never seen before, is the reporting features. So you can see here, I had this report scheduled, and it came, I had it done on January 8th at 5 p.m. So that was 2 reports that were scheduled up. Sometimes Edmentum doesn't let me open it when I'm sharing on my second screen, but I could open that and see both of my reports. So I can also click here and see if any were upcoming. What is cool about this, and what I use it for now that I'm working with our adult students, I have the Courseware audit report come to me every Friday morning at 5 a.m. because it's a really quick view that I can see who's logged on, when was the last time, and it'll show me like all of those things. In the Courseware audit report, I can pick and choose what information I want to show up. You can have everything there, which is massive, or you can narrow it down to when was the last time they logged on, and their current grade. So that's really customizable too. We always say anytime you're naming anything in Edmentum to please be very mindful in how you're naming it. Be very intentional. So especially if you're an instructor, your program admins can see everything. And if everybody just said English, math, algebra, that gets very confusing. So please, like this one is, 2019 fall semester math courses. So they must have been picking a lot. But, use your last name, use what the report is for, and, spring 21, just to help yourself out too, so that you can keep a handle on them. I'll quickly show you what some look like. This is the course progress report. This one's better for like a program admin that maybe they're monitoring a senior that has several courses. If you're an instructor and you just have one kid per course, or you only service them in that course, that's not really a great one, but that is a good one for program admin. The gradebook report card I particularly liked, and I think I would have really loved this if I was still in the classroom, because I was very big on pushing out my Infinite Campus report to my students once a week. So this is very similar. If you're the type of person that likes that Infinite Campus report, if you all use that, this is similar to that, and it will show the activities and what their grades and whatnot are. I also love here how it'll show the time on task, and then it'll even narrow it down. So you can see this student on the pretest took 2 minutes and 15 seconds. There was another one here that the student had right here, 36 seconds and a 40%. So we get this a lot where parents will say, my kid's on for 3 or 4 hours on Edmentum and they're not making any progress. Well, we can narrow it down and see the time they were on task. So if we dig a little deeper, we can see, yeah, Johnny was on there for 3 hours. However, that's when he was logged on. He was really only working for 5 minutes. So that's a great one for, if parents say, hey, they're working hard, what's going on here? You can tell them, well, yeah, they are working hard and they're missing, they're missing it here in this tutorial. They need to go back and try again. So it's a good feature for that report. The weekly progress report is very similar, a little bit more of a graphic, which is cool. So you can use this one too. It's really personal preference, but very similar to the last one I showed you, and a good resource for parents and students. And then, like I said, this courseware audit report will go to an Excel spreadsheet, and you can customize that to include as much or as little as you want. And like I said, you can have this come as a one-time report, or you can schedule it. I know some teachers that schedule it to come Mondays and Fridays, or when, one of my teachers I work with likes to be up at midnight. So he has his reports come at midnight because that's when he works. I'm more of the 5 a.m. girl, so I like my reports to be there and ready at 5 a.m. So those are really neat features within Edmentum. All righty. And then I'll just be very brief here, because these are just another great set of reports. You can go through and check these out. These are just curriculum reports. As an ECE teacher, I love the strengths and needs by class report. This helps with grouping your students. So if you gave everybody a pretest to see where they're at, this report, you can narrow it right down to that one pretest, and it will group your kids based on the scores that they got. So these are some really cool reports that you should definitely check out. And you can still access the other 4 reports that I showed you. These reports cannot be scheduled unless it's the courseware audit and the 4 that I showed you before. So if you want to see something like this, the strengths and needs or graphic learner, you just go in and it's very easy to set up that report. So you just kind of, everything step by step, very visual, very simplistic to get through once you kind of, get your feet wet and learn how to use it. We doing okay? Any questions, or do I need to slow down?
I will let you get a breath in. You've been going for a good half hour straight. This is really awesome. I will say, Amy was talking in the chat, and I was kind of throwing some things back at her, that I love how you guys will build custom courses for teachers that request it. That is amazing. That is awesome from you guys. And one thing from the nerd standpoint, I really liked how when you tried to click and share that report of it, what it thought was an actual class, if you were a teacher, it wouldn't have let you do that. I mean, and many people have accidentally thrown up a sheet of grades of whatever it may be in front of a class. You would not want that on like a Google Meet with 30 kids on there, maybe some parents, and having those up and not realize it. So I like that was a little feature that it wouldn't let you do that because it knew you were sharing your screen.
Yeah, it's really weird. I love that. It is really neat. You don't think about like how it's really can be beneficial, but it's whenever you go to a second screen, I guess that's like a safety feature, but so yeah. It is just, there's so much to offer in here. And I guess, saying that we will help you and do custom courses and stuff. We are here. This is our role, is to support you and support our students. There are going to be trainings over the summer, but if this is something that you want to dive into, don't wait till the summertime. Contact Amy and I. We are already doing plenty of trainings throughout this school year. We have other ones coming up. Between the two of us, we like to both do it together, but if we have to, we'll divide and conquer and support you in any way that you need. Even if it's one-on-one support, reach out to us. We would much rather you send us a quick email and answer it in 5 to 10 seconds than you be mulling over something and getting frustrated with the program. We can answer most of your questions pretty quickly, and if we can't, we have a great consultant, Denise Williams, who is fantastic, and I have no shame in admitting when I don't know the answer. I will find it for you. It might take me a little bit longer, but I'm here for you, to work with you and make this as seamless as possible within your classroom. That's the thing about programs like this. Again, I want to dispel like that myth that it's credit recovery only. It's truly not. And programs like this are a supplemental tool for your classroom that you can utilize in whatever way you need. And it's a great feature to not reinvent the wheel. For example, if you have a group of students just aren't doing well on a standard, you can specifically push one standard to those 5 students. So that is through flex assignments. You can customize a course section to just pick and choose what you want to show. And I'll kind of show you that briefly. But this is for you and your classroom and your students. And there's a lot of great content on here. Again, I will always say that this is a tool, a resource. It shouldn't replace teaching. It should be to support you and your students. So, definitely use it as much or as little, or, if you come up with creative ways, we love hearing about it. We jump in that Google Classroom. Our teachers are always giving us new ideas. A lot of the things that I end up presenting is because of other teachers, not because I came up with it on my own. Especially now that I'm with like these adult students, I am so much better at this job because of all of the questions and support that I've received from the teachers. So, reach out and let us know. So, all right, back to Edmentum. If you're an instructor, you will see these 4 whenever you come back here. If you feel like you kind of got lost, you can see up here, I have all these things open. Just always go back to this black toolbar and it'll get you to where you want to be, because it'll open up some other tabs there. So the classrooms are pretty cool. What you can do with these classrooms is create your classrooms. So if you want, your period 1 English, they're already set that way. It depends on how you want to set them for sections. But I have a couple of teachers that are monitoring several students. Like maybe they're focusing just on this handful of seniors. So they want to make them like a class. So you can do that. Or like a credit recovery teacher who maybe has 4, 5, 6 periods a day, and it's all different subjects and things like that. You can bring them all into this class and create that. Another question I often get is, will our class list be populated automatically? Unfortunately, it is not. If you Google that or YouTube that, Edmentum will show you how to do that. But our platform does not, because of the Clever and Infinite Campus integration. So that's a lot of programs working together, and I'm not really sure why. If it does not work with our programming, but it's very easy to do. It's seamless to just pop in those students' names quickly. And if you do decide to go the classroom to create classrooms, once you do it, then you're done. It's like one time that you have to pop those in there. So that is a question we often get. Same with flex assignments. It'll tell you to create your class, and people want, like their period 1 English class already there for them, but that is not a feature. You can put any kid in there that you want, but you do have to do it that one time when you're setting the course or the flex assignment up. So I'm just going to show you here. These are just classes that are just training classes. I put students in this, Kentucky English 2. And this pacing guide is based on the dates that you use. So this is a great visual for your students and for the teacher. So because we just started, these 4 kids are on If I have a kid that got started and was just ripping through it, I would see that they're ahead, which is sometimes not always good. You may want to know, is somebody jumping ahead too far? And then obviously who's behind. If you have anything locked within this course, it'll show here and you can click on that and then you can automatically unlock it. So like I said in the beginning, when you're on that original landing page, you can see things in lots of places. So you saw the locked assignments there, and then you can also see them specifically under English 2. And then this little clock here is if it's something that needs to be graded by a teacher. Then you can come over here for the quick reports. So those are some of the reports that I've talked about that are great. These are the 4 most common, so that's why they have them here. And you can generate them very quickly. You can go to the grade book here, view the curriculum, and look at the section settings. So let's look here real quick. If we want to build a new section, just like you looked for the course in the course catalog, you can look here for your course. So let's see here. We'll just look at this algebra. Whoops, sorry. That's one of my adult students' classes. All right, so if we want to just look at, Algebra 2 Semester A, this is how you're actually going to create that section. Again, be very intentional here in how you're naming it. Oh, my typing is just not good today. Oh my goodness, it's like past the witching hour for me after this day, but it's going good. All right, so I would make sure that I call it what it is. It's Algebra 2A, my last name, and then I'm going to call this Spring 21, just so that I'm aware and then my program admin knows what it is. If you put an end date in, which we always recommend, this is how you get that nifty little pacing guide for your students. If you don't want them to have a pacing guide, you just don't put a date in and it won't do that. Then you can add any instructor that you want to your class. So if you have an ECE teacher that pushes in, or if there's multiple teachers that are working with this student, like a case manager, put them in as an instructor so that they can support you in monitoring that student. You can also lock it after the end date. If you put a section description here, this would be visible to any of the instructors you've added and the administrators. So guidance counselors, principals, APs. Student instructions would be for the student, like, hey guys, this is Ms. Barentz's Algebra 2A class. Make sure you stay on pace. Reach out if you have questions. You do not have to do these. You don't have to do either of these, but they're just options to have. Just know that whatever you put here, your instructors and admins will see, and then whatever you put here, the students will see. You can save your section without students, which is great. Maybe you don't know who your students are going to be in there yet, and you want to get courses started, or you can continue to add students. I always recommend that you do not type in the names here. It gets very frustrating. If you go to Browse Student Directory, this will show you all of the students that are within your programming, and you can search them by last name, and then you can click on them. So you could add 20 students pretty much at one time. So that's how you do that. So let's look at when we create a course. We don't have students in here yet, but that's fine because we can still look at the curriculum. Just like we did in the course catalog, we were looking at the curriculum. Now we're going to customize this section. So this is where the magic can happen for teachers. Within the curriculum settings, you can lock, hide, or omit. If you lock something, that means you will have to unlock it. You can unlock it for your entire class, or you can unlock it student by student. So that's up to you. I know some teachers that are using this as kind of their foundation, in addition to other things within Google Classroom, want to lock things so that students can't go ahead. So they may go down and lock everything from Unit 3. And then it's very simple to unlock. Okay, so I could do that right here at the top of Unit 3 because I'm just specifically locking that. Let's say as a teacher, I don't want any student to take a pretest. If I hit omit, it will omit all the pretests and the students will have no idea that it's there. They won't even realize that they had the option to do that. The reason why a lot of teachers will omit a pretest is they don't want kids to be exempt. So if a kid does really well on a pretest, they could get exempt. And then if that's something that you have in your lesson plans and you want everybody to be on equations and inequalities, but you get those kids that were exempt, they might give you a hard time, like, I don't need this part of your lesson. So that's something to think about with pretest. They serve as a great resource. It just depends on how you're going to use it, and that's what's so great about the program, is how you can customize it. Anytime you see something that says discussion or activity or practice, those are things that like a teacher has to monitor. If you don't really want to monitor those things, there are plenty of things in here that your students can do that are very robust, and the program will grade for you. You can omit all teacher graded. Again, really depends on how you're using it. So you'll see, oops, I don't know why it's not omitting those for me, but you can also come here and omit those activities. Usually it could be the sharing of my screen, why some features aren't working appropriately, but it should have omitted all the discussion and things like that. I've also seen teachers that'll open up a discussion and they'll take this discussion topic and put it in their Google Classroom. So you can copy and paste whatever you want. Same goes with if you're, when we're back in the schools, if you have students that just don't do well on the computer, or you don't have enough computers for your students, you can print anything on Edmentum for your students to do, paper pencil. So that's a cool feature too. So this up here was the curriculum settings. It's a great resource because you can quickly lock and unlock things. I know a lot of teachers will lock all of their post tests because they don't want their students to do a post test ahead of time or ahead of the class, and they'll set a date. I'm going to unlock the post test on March 10th. So you would just come back here and change it. Everything can be changed on Edmentum, which is great. Nothing's set in stone, or you're not forced into anything. You can change dates, you can add instructors, take instructors away. Today I made several mistakes and put students in A when they were supposed to be in B. 2 seconds to drop a student. Like, it really is nice, the features that they have. They make it very easy for teachers to customize their sections. Again, as I showed you right at the beginning, we have this help button up here. This is going to change based on the pages that you're on. So they'll show you if there's anything new. And then within here, we have the Courseware instructor user guide, different things, keys to success. Definitely worth your while to check these out if you're going to be using the program. We try to add a bunch of these to our Google Classroom also, but their resources are really, really good. And they're all very colorful visuals. Within the Courseware instructor guide, it will show you exactly what your screen's going to look like. So if you want to, let's see here, what's a good one? Grade an assignment. It'll show you the instructions with what the picture looks like for you. So those are good tools and features to have. They do update those from time to time, not so much during a school year, but we try to make sure when they update them that we also update them on anything that's linked for you all or in that Google Classroom. So that's pretty much Edmentum Courseware in a very quick nutshell. Again, we are more than willing to offer training, even if it's one-on-one or within PLCs. It's totally up to you how you want to use this, and if you want to bounce off ideas or ask other teachers. We have several teachers within the district that are more than willing to talk to you and tell you how they've used it, what's best practices for them. And so pretty much any situation you're in, reach out to us, and if we don't have the help for you, we can get it, or we know a teacher that's using it similar to how you're wanting to use it. Flex assignments are another really great feature. We don't have a lot of time to dive into that today, but you can create flex classes, and that's where you can assign. This is a great one for assigning students standards that they might be missing, because you can specifically grab one standard and it'll give you options for that standard. You could give them 4 activities for one standard, or maybe you just want to give them one more activity, like they were really close to passing, so they just need another activity. Great way to use flex assignments for that. And we're also super, happy to help out with that. They do have a tour up here, which I would say is a great one to look at. Flex assignments should be changing over the summer for the better. Edmentum's going to incorporate them into Courseware so that it's just a little bit easier to navigate, and then the reporting features will be just as good. So hopefully that update is coming. It was supposed to be last year, and then with all the NTI stuff, they put that on the back burner and added a lot of other great things. So that should be coming, but in the meantime, you can still use them here just by going to Flex Assignments on the black toolbar. So any other questions or?
No, that's really good, Summer. You did say you were struggling, and I'll let you know that Christine Strothman from Farmer Elementary, we saw a couple teachers from Farmer Elementary, and their shout out to them. She said you were doing a great job. So I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I can do these in person, but man, I don't know. Once you throw YouTube live, I'm like, oh.
It becomes a whole different creature, but it's great to reach more people that way. And Amy's done a great job giving information, the Google Classroom code, which is in the presentation, but it's also in the chat if you're here live. So hopefully a couple people jumped into that for you.
Great.
And I think that's about it, unless you have anything you want to close with.
Nope, I don't think so. Just know that we're here to help. I mean, I am new to JCPS. I moved here, well, I guess almost 2 years ago, and I really love it. And I've never worked in a district that has a digital innovation team like this or has the curriculum people that we have. We're really lucky to have all of the resources that we have. And I'm just so excited to be a part of it and be able to support teachers with this platform that I think can be really beneficial and be used in so many different ways. It's really not a one size fits all.
And that was something I was going to say, that it's great that we have these resources, but we also have people to support them like you, which just makes it even better.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, or when I worked in other districts, they would just, they would say, here, use this in your classroom. And you'd never have any support or know how to use it, or you'd call the 1-800 number and be sitting there. Teachers don't have time for that. So again, if you are struggling or you have a question or you just want to be like, vent, email Amy and I. We are here to help and we love what we do. So we're just excited to be a part of it.
Yay, that's great. And same for us. If you ever have a question, everybody in all the schools, all the teachers know that you have support personnel from the digital innovation team, at least 2 people covering every zone. And as Summer said, if we don't know the answer, we'll find someone that does. Someone like Summer, who's really good at those things.
You guys are like wizards over there. You're all so smart and have so much in your toolbox. It's amazing.
Well, thank you. We do what we can to help the teachers out, and that gets it to the students. And that's really our end customer that we want to make happy and give them the best education possible. All right, Ann, I'm going to wrap this up. I am Jim Unger with JCPS Digital Innovation. Summer, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Have a good one, everyone.
All right. Stop in tomorrow. We will have 2 episodes tomorrow with Syllabus for your students. And we will cover that. Many, many great things on that digital platform as well. Stop in. Check us out. Have a great day.